In a world filled with aspirations for perfection, where cracks on a plate, stains on a couch, and the slightest room askew are met with disdain or swift replacement, there exists a universal yearning for the flawless, the symmetrical, and the ageless. Western tradition, armed with reason and order, wages an unrelenting war against the universe, wielding laws and truths as its battle standards and ideals as its fervent hearth. But this battle demands constant feeding and hovers perpetually on the brink of exhaustion, both collectively and individually. For many, it has already extinguished hope, leaving them disillusioned about finding anything to dispel the universe's inherent coldness. For others, they've become consumed by the relentless flames of desire. For those seeking to navigate the ebb and flow of existence, grappling with unattainable goals of perfection, certainty, and permanence, a profoundly useful concept emerges: wabi-sabi. This Japanese philosophy traces its roots to the 12th century when a Japanese Buddhist monk named Nin established the first independent Zen Buddhist school in Japan. This school introduced principles from Chan Buddhism, emphasizing that suffering arises from the tension between our desires and the ever-changing, imperfect nature of reality. Over time, thanks to Zen's influence, the transient and imperfect aspects of reality ceased to be perceived as adversaries to be conquered and instead became allies to meditate upon and embrace. By the 15th century, two terms, wabi and sabi, merged to encapsulate this unique perspective, eventually becoming central to Japanese culture, aesthetics, and philosophy. Though it defies direct translation, wabi-sabi essentially celebrates the beauty and virtue found in the impermanent, imperfect, and incomplete. From an aesthetic standpoint, wabi-sabi cherishes visual incompleteness, wear, damage, asymmetry, and minimalism. Art created within the wabi-sabi framework often emphasizes the artistic process over the end result, and the finished product is frequently used well past its point of pristine perfection. Wabi-sabi understands and accepts that nothing lasts, nothing is truly finished, and nothing is perfect. For instance, consider raku pottery, a popular style in Japan that adheres to wabi-sabi principles. Crafted by hand, raku pottery is fired at low temperatures and left to cool in the open air, resulting in porous, irregular, and uniquely shaped vessels. This process underscores simplicity and naturalness. Another Japanese practice, kintsugi, involves repairing broken pottery by filling the cracks with powdered gold, silver, or platinum, transforming them into enhanced, beautiful parts of the piece. Through raku and kintsugi, imperfections and damage in ceramic ware are celebrated as beautiful manifestations of life's natural experiences. From a philosophical perspective, mirroring its aesthetics, wabi-sabi encourages a simple way of living, finding peace in the transient nature of all things, and embracing flaws and incompleteness in nature, life, and oneself. It suggests that a more genuine and useful form of perfection exists, the perfection of imperfection. Around the 13th to 15th century, Zen monk Murata Shuko redefined Japanese tea ceremonies based on wabi-sabi principles. These ceremonies shifted from displays of wealth with extravagant ceramics to using simple, handcrafted pottery created through raku or kintsugi practices. Participants would sip tea in minimalist settings under partial moons or cloudy night skies. The Japanese tea ceremony thus became a celebration of the simple and imperfect. Beauty, according to wabi-sabi, is not solely based on what we see but on how we perceive things, a phenomenon rooted in the mind. If we wish to perceive more beauty in life as it truly is, the responsibility lies with us. Wabi-sabi provides a lens through which we can more readily achieve this, allowing us to experience beauty in the genuine conditions of reality and derive peace from it. Artist Leonard Cohen noted that beauty can be coaxed out of ugliness, and wabi-sabi is ambivalent about distinguishing beauty from non-beauty or ugliness. It suggests that beauty is a dynamic event occurring between an individual and something else, an altered state of consciousness. A moment of poetry and grace, wabi-sabi reminds us that while there is nothing inherently wrong with striving for perfection, the gap between good and perfect is infinite. It encourages us not to depend on reaching that ultimate state, but to recognize that the process itself is part of the result. It underscores that nothing in nature is perfect, complete, or permanent, and if nature can't make it so, why should we believe we can? Wabi-sabi, on one hand, reflects an essential aspect of Japanese history and culture, and on the other, it offers a philosophical concept deeply relevant to all of humanity. Every endeavor will have its failures, every completion will carry an element of incompleteness, and everything we cherish will eventually fade away. While we may resist this reality, we can also strive, whenever possible, to embrace it and find the beauty and virtue within it. By learning to accept things as they are, not as we want them to be, we can discover beauty, truth, and the interconnectedness of all things, even in the imperfections, a realization beautifully articulated by David Foster Wallace. Wabi-sabi may not be everyone's preference, and even those who appreciate it may never fully embrace imperfection, impermanence, or incompleteness. Yet, in our imperfect attempts to do so, we paradoxically embody the essence of wabi-sabi perfectly.